Go for it. So, hello and welcome. Oh, sitting a bit close to the cam there. Right, so, the last video I showed you how to basically assemble the Hs3 systems and then get the basic Windows configuration and calibration. Now, unfortunately, most games are made for game pads, i.e. Xbox 360. That being said, there are simulators like GP Bikes, even the Crew, in fact, you don't need it, where you don't have to use any kind of software. You don't have to trick the program into thinking, oh, it's an Xbox controller. But unfortunately, in a Milestone game, you do. Now, before, it wasn't so bad when I was using just potentiometers for the brakes. You could just simply center the pot for the rear brake and get away with it, and the same with the clutch. But now that I use hydraulic brakes, you cannot center them. Therefore, they must be mounted on the triggers, which means basically I keep, as I did before, the left trigger, I use the front brake. But now, instead of using the throttle on the right trigger, which is natural for most people, I've actually had to use that right trigger for the rear brake, and then I've had to move the throttle to the y-axis on the right stick. But to do that, you have to center the potentiometer for the throttle. Now, as you saw in the last video, once you've calibrated the Hs3, you need to lock down the throttle stop. That is actually put in a position that will allow you to center the potentiometer for the throttle and still have full throttle. So basically, that's one of the things we're going to have to do. In order to do that, you're going to want to really open up x360ce and do that. Now, I've been asked to do this specifically for Ride 2, for the high-tech simulation center, and that's what we're going to do today. So first of all, I'm going to minimize this wall so we can pull up all the screens that we need to watch, and hopefully I'll get it right first go, who knows. So let's have at it. I'm going to make myself smaller. Right, so if I go over here and magically become smaller. Oh, not that small, come on. Right, now that'll have to do. Okay, so now we're going to navigate to our Steam folder, which has riding, which is basically program files, x86 Steam, Steam apps, common, and then obviously Ride 2. Now here you can see I've actually got x360ce, and then I've got my ini file and the input. There's different X inputs, but Ride 2 specifically needs X input 1.4 DLL. So that's all I've got. But basically, I send out the full, so you get 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, and 1.9. Basically, rule of thumb, just leave them all in there, and you'll be fine. Now, I am having problems with TT Isle of Man, but we'll not talk about that now. So anyhow, what we're going to do is, I've already set up the Hs3 in Windows. I'm now going to start x360ce. Now, luckily the system's already recognised by it, and everything has basically been set up. So it's pretty simple. In reality, what you do is you simply select the actual one you want to do, you hit record, and for this one, what I'm going to actually do, because I use certain buttons, so for my A button, I press the lower right button, so I record, press a button, and it saves it, and that's done. And then you'll do the same with the X, record, press a button. Okay, so I've now got those done. I simply put save, stop, and then open it again. Now, I don't know if you can hear that ding, but that is what it's supposed to make. Basically, you go through setup controls as you want, but what we're going to do now is basically go through and I'll show you your triggers. So I want to record my front brake. I hit record, and then I'll lean across, pull my front brake. You can see it's working there. Then I'll go to my second trigger, press record, hit my rear brake, and once again it'll record it. Then the steering, record. Now you want to lean the handlebars to the right. You'll see a little red flashing light. You want to lean the handlebars to the right, and that will then set it. Those are those. That's fine. Now you need to go to advanced, and then you'll see your triggers. And what you want to do is you want to set a certain amount of dead zone so that it feels right and that there is no movement. You want to make sure that when you go to the Generals tab, that each trigger is showing 0 at the top. If there's any numbers there, then increase the size of that dead zone. Then you'll want to go to your left thumb, and here you've got an anti-dead zone and a sensitivity for the X horizontal axis on the left stick, so your left thumb stick. You need to have an anti-dead zone because milestone games have literally their coding has got a built-in dead zone, and it's a killer. So you need to play around and try and adjust as to what feels right for you, which is going to mean you're going to have to set up X360, start the game, see what it's like to ride, then go out of the game, go back into X360 and adjust the anti-dead zone. Then below that dead zone you don't touch. Then sensitivity, this one here, I normally set it around 4 or 5, and you want to tick the invert because you don't want it to be less sensitive, you need it to be more sensitive. So you adjust that until you've got the right amount of sensitivity from the center point. And what you'll find is you get kind of a dead zone. You want to eliminate the dead zone, and you want to make it where you're not having, it's too sensitive to move, that you've got a nice flow from your turn. It's not like GP bikes, it's not smooth, it's a problem, and until Milestone actually learns to do their programming correctly for inputs, we're stuck with this. So anyhow, once you've got your left stick, you'll be good. Now is where it's going to get to be tricky. The stick axis Y, as you can see here, if you look at the Y axis, my little cross is here right at the bottom. I don't want that. I want it in the center, and where this is red, where it says stick axis Y, okay, I want that to be black because that means the stick is centered. So what we'll do is I'll record it just to make sure. Record it. Okay, I-axis 3, yes it is. So now we've got that, we're just going to click save, make sure we don't lose it. Now what I need to do in order to move that little cross to the center is in fact physically turn my potentiometer inside the gear, which takes 2 screwdrivers. Like I said, I'm trying to find the right tools to actually send with the systems. So for now you need a normal flathead screwdriver and then a long slim, so the maximum wide of like 4mm head flat screwdriver that's a minimum of 130mm, so 13 centimeters long. It has to go through the back of the system to the gear and turn that potentiometer. Now I'm going to try and show this and try and do it in such a way that you'll be able to actually see it going on. So I'm going to minimize this one window, move this chappy over here. Right, so you can keep your eye on this particular area where you see stick axis Y. You want this to go black. So now I'm going to make myself bigger. And then we're going to try our best. Yes, I'm sorry I smoke. We'll try our best to show you how to adjust this gear. It's actually very, very simple. It's really just a case of trying to show it on camera is very hard. So if you look here, we have a gear, a potentiometer, which is this bit here, potentiometer. There's the gear. Okay, now I'll see if I can show you. It's too dark to really show it turning, but it'll show you where it basically is. Now, if I zoom out, you have to put a screwdriver underneath the stop. You've got to move your cables out of the way. So move this cable so that I can get to it. I haven't done this one yet, so I might have to undo this cable tie, in which case I think I might. And now I can just about get in there. No. Right, I can get to the gear. So now I've actually got, you can see the screwdriver turning. It's actually turning the gear. Well, now what I actually need to do is put another screwdriver in, hold the gear in place, and then turn that screwdriver clockwise until the writing turns black. So, I know it sounds complicated, but it's actually very simple. Now I'm going to put the camera down and see if I can do it and show you it changing. So, can't really get the camera in any closer. It's not really going to show much. But I've got my screwdriver in there. I look at my screen and try and turn the gear. It's good at catching on the cable. Right, it is. I'll come off the screw bit. Right. Like I said, it's not easy to do on camera because I've got the cable in the way and everything's just being a pain for me. Doing it live is not easy. I'm getting that hole. Oh, blimey. I cannot find the slot. That's because I can't see because my hair's in the way. So you can actually take the system off of the desktop. Maybe that way it will be better. But you want to be able to see the screen. So I'm trying to do it in place, which is rather awkward. Need to put it on the table and do it. Now I can't figure out why I can't get it in the hole anymore. It's because I've just washed my hair and I can't see a bloody thing. Right, I need to tie it back. Okay, we've got the slot. It was all about getting the slot, and now we're moving it up. Gone green, now it's gone black. Right, so okay, well I got it in the end. It is fiddly, but it is doable if you've got the right screwdrivers. So, right, that is rather hard. But I think now you can see that what we've got now, if I keep forgetting, I have to minimise the window where I'm at. So now, we look here, we can see that our throttle is in fact centred, and that where it says stick axis Y is in fact in black. And basically what you want to do is then go to your right thumb, and then where it's got the Y, I advise putting like a 3% dead zone. That'll just mean that you've got that little bit of play there, so it definitely won't always have the damn throttle on, which is a problem in Milestone games. Once again, click save. Right, so now basically our X360 is set up. Like I said, you assign the buttons the way you want. the way that I do it, and what I'll show you, is makes it simpler. Okay, so we can actually close this. Oh, I'm trying to close it in OBS. That you cannot do. Clicking on the OBS window will not open or do anything. Right, so what we do is, I really wanted that up actually, to show you. Oh, I'm an idiot. Right, okay. So you drag this over here, and then you make this a bit smaller. Sorry, but this is not one of those things that you can just basically do and get perfect straight off. Right, so now what we've got is my X button. I'll record, and I'll press this top one here. Then for my Y, press record. Got that there, just to make sure. Now I'm starting to learn that stick buttons, bumper buttons, it depends for the gear shift, because certain games I have to use a stick, but generally, rule of thumb, I use the bumper buttons for gears. So for my downshift, I'll record, press down on the gear lever, and we've got button 9, record, button 10, yes, okay, then we've got our guide, so record our back button, and our start button. That's it. I've actually changed the buttons on this because I had it configured a bit different. So we've got our D-pad, so we want to record our up, which I do on this side, up, down, and then we've got our left and our right. Okay, and then obviously if you want, you can do stick buttons. So let's do yeah, let's do our stick buttons on this. So stick button, record, there, stick button, record, there. So that way we've got everything set up. We've got our left, right, down, our up. We've got A, B, X, Y. We've got our back, our start. Oh no, those were the, yeah, that's it, stick buttons. That's the back and the start. So, and we've got our front brake. We don't have the clutch, we're not using that because you don't really use it, and our rear brake. Right, so we are basically set to go. Save that. Don't know how the steering's going to be when we actually get into X360, when we get into ride, but who's to know? Now, throw that over there. Minimize this. Yes, this video is a bit higgledy-piggledy, isn't it? Right, and now we're going to hope that we don't have any updates or anything going on ride, and then we can just simply go into ride 2. Okay, looks like we can. And this is where we get to the next point of problems. Now you heard that ding, that means that ride 2 is accepted, X360. So the game will start up. Now basically we can navigate through the game using the Hs3. Oh, forgot me coffee. Right, so press enter. Right, we're just going to go options, controls, right, so joypad 1, Of course, we've got support with MotoGP 18. You can use the mouse, and MXGP3 as well. Right, so we have to navigate through this. So, joypad 1, right. We're just going to make sure that everything works. So, A is changed, so we press that. That's, oh no, we're going to go front brake. Yeah, idiot Alan. Button 6, okay. So, let's accelerate. Right. Then I like my camera on that button, or forward. I do increase DCS with that, decrease with that. Alright, just make sure our steering is correct. Yes, it is. Okay. Then we want to go, most important, gear up. There. Gear down. There. Rear brake. Button 7. Yes. So, I like my weight forward, weight backwards is 8. Weight forward is 3. Wow, we should be ready to go. Right, so back. Quick modes. I do love this little Triumph. We're not going to go there. I'm going to change track. Like I said, I use certain tracks to test the whole time, because once I've used that track with one system, if I've got a problem with the system, I will know if it's got an error. So now, I want to change track. We're going to start race. We're just going to go into it. I don't know. Oh, I should have checked to see if it's automatic brakes or not. Bummer. Yeah. Right, well, there we go. Actually not sitting totally correct. Right. So, proceed. Right, so you got it right. I forgot, yeah, I've got to change up. Is it perfect? Almost. Not thinking. Okay, what was that? So I think I popped up the rear brake. No, I didn't. Okay. So I was just testing the rear brake. I need to grab the brakes a bit harder, okay. See, I haven't used the hydraulic brake from the system with it set up like it was. I'm riding like crap today. Yeah, is it me or is my bloody screen stuck? Right, come on. I'm riding really bad, sorry. Ages. As you all notice, noticed I haven't made videos in a while because I haven't had internet. The roof collapsed on me. It's like 2 months of hell. Once you get back in, I'll be alright. Just got to get into the swing bit. That guy was on my arse. That's why I forgot about this. They do grab your arse. This is like where I think oh, you bugger. Trying to watch my language there. You got me on the back wheel. That's the worst thing they do. They hit the back wheel. It's so like out of order. Just got to get the apexes. That's it. Oh, bastard. That bloody. I think I've done a couple of hydraulic brakes the ride, but obviously I've calibrated these ones a bit different. Got to learn that pull, it is so different. I love it. Ah well, whatever. I love it. It's still good, no matter what. But there you can basically see that, you know, you can get in a ride and it will work. I've forgotten which one. Oh, it's that one. Turns the stupid thing off, doesn't it? What hides the camera? Oh, hides all of it. So, anyhow, people, I hope that has made it clear. I know that the throttle part is a bit awkward to do, but I'm sure you can see where it is. Once you get your system, you'll actually see, and it is very simple. It's a case of putting the one screwdriver in to actually hold the gear in place, and then turning the other one clockwise until it goes from the centre. You can do the same with the clutch if you need to use the clutch at all. It's very simple to do. I will actually set up so I've got the cameras better to show how to do it. So I'll make a very special one just on the throttle and clutch pots. But I just wanted to get this one out to really show Jose how to get it set up at least so they can get into ride 2 and have some fun. So anyhow, people, thank you very much. I'm just going to leave you with the replay and shut up for a bit. And have a cigarette. That was really bad riding. Oh my god, I need to practice. I haven't ridden in ride 2 for so long and I do love it. In fact, I'm hoping to get together with a couple of people like Jose and race online. I haven't done that for a long time. course, we're all waiting on ride 3. Of course, I forgot you've got to look ahead in this game as well. So use the creature comforts of GP bikes. Oh, so I spent some money and bought some new leathers. It came off. Love it. Payback. Teaching to spin on my back wheel. Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to get back into this. I haven't played it for so long. Got some computer problem somewhere. Right. So, well, people, thank you very much for watching. And like I said, I will make a specific one just on the throttle pot and the clutch pot, as it really is just, it's simple, but it looks daunting. So anyhow, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you soon. Now that I've got my internet back, I should be making more videos. So I wish you all a wonderful day. Goodbye.